O Gurudev, help me, guide me. Expand my heart with love. Slowly sit up, spine straight. Praying for your good health. Praying God and Gurus for you and for your family and for the whole world. God and Guru gives an opportunity to do more sadhana, to get success. I pray again and again. Om Tat Sat Om. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Jai Guru,
Good evening,
Pranam.
everyone. No. Good evening to all of you. Before we start anything, we should always remember God, pray to God. I bow at the lotus feet of God and Gurus. Saints and sages, for it is their thoughts, their words that inspire us to talk to you. It is they who speak through us. We thank you. Sanyal Mahasaya, householder, life of humility, born in Nadia, a land of love and devotion. Introspect. How do we live? Is our life as humble, as kind, as peaceful, as joyful, tranquil, like the two greatest householder saints in our Kriya lineage, Sri Shamacharan Lahiri and Sri Sanyal Mahasaya. Daily introspect your life at the end of the day. How did I live my day today? Was I angry? Was I tranquil? Was I peaceful? Was I attached? Was I within? How was my conduct? How was my attitude? Are we anywhere close to living a divine life? Ask yourself. We listen to talks we have been listening since the last 6 days. So much knowledge, so much information. But what is the change? Have we changed our lives? Or is it the same that we were living yesterday or the year before? To be truly great, like Shamacharan Lahiri, like Sanyal Mahasaya, one must have great humility. Pride is an impediment to realization. Who is a humble man? A humble man is he who regards all beings, from the ant to the highest God, as identical to his own self. He is friendly with the whole world, to the point he cannot distinguish between himself and others. This reminds me of another saint whom I love very much, Saint Francis of Assisi. That saint of love spoke to the sun, he spoke to the clouds, he spoke to the flowers, he spoke to the animals. He called all of them brothers and sisters. Even the birds understood his words. He preached with such beautiful simplicity. Sanyal Mahasaya, he too was like Saint Francis. He too spoke many times to the hot sun. to the cold. Everything for him was God. May God bless us with a life of humility and compassion, like Sanyal Mahasaya. God is simple. God says, I'm closest to you. But we search for him everywhere outside in temples and mountains, except our own soul within. Gurus say, purify, simplify your mind, be empty. But we fill our minds with more useless and worldly gossip. Lord says, be pure like a child, but we end up always with ego, anger, jealousy, and pride. The Guru says, be free from temptation, but we end up running behind money, food, and sex. Guruji and Gurudev say, watch your soul, watch your breath. Continuously watch your breath. We end up watching everything but our soul and our breath. What to do? How to evolve? How to make this impure mind pure? How to control the mind? How to live in this world? How to be disciplined? How to be a good sadhak? So many questions. The answer is simple. First, simplify your life. Desires and greed are bottomless. Desires will only end with meditation and not money. Why so much attachment? Detach yourself. Running after wealth, status, property is like running after shadows. You will never catch them. You are bound to be disappointed. Please remember always, both sorrow and happiness create ripples in the mind. These ripples of the mind are spiritual suffering, spiritual sorrow. When the mind has no ripples, inner bliss will manifest. Change your direction of your search for happiness. Go within. The Guru's eyes are continuously on you. His grace is constantly showering upon you. He is always present, but you are not. Only when both of you are there, there is a possibility of success. The teacher, speakers, scholars, they fill you up with clouds of information, thoughts, and words. Whereas the Guru liberates you from them. He enables you to reach a state of nothingness. He takes away your imaginary world, which enables you to be aware of your true subtle nature. What is the use of so much talk? Just know thyself. Abide in the soul. The best teacher is the soul. It is eternal, pure consciousness and knowledge. What is there in the universe that the soul cannot reveal? It is the spiritual treasure that we have within. Let us try to meditate more. Be focused on our true self. Don't forget, you are the maker of your own destiny. God's greatest gift to mankind is free will. Gurudev always used to say, where there is a will, there is a way. No great man begins his career as a great man. Most great men have acquired their greatness through constant exercise and practice. One day, an enthusiastic lady, after a concert of Beethoven, his piano recital, went to him and asked, if only God had given me this uncommon gift of music, she said. Beethoven replied, remember that to get this gift, you can get this gift too. Play on the piano 8 hours a day for 40 years. That is enough. You will be good as I am. The success of our life depends on the way we live every moment, every hour, every day of our lives. Learn to behave. Learn to think of others. Be compassionate. Be kind. Live in the world. Live in God consciousness. I came across 2 questions of Adi Shankara. What is real knowledge? That which can be the source of your liberation. We hear this word so many times in so many speeches. Goal of life is liberation. What is liberation? Liberation from what? First, we have to be liberated from our desires, from our fears. That is the first level of liberation. When we die, our soul gets liberated. But it comes back due to our karmas and desires. How to stop this transmigration of the soul? How to stop our karmas? How to stop our desires? What is karma? How can we be free from karmas? So many questions. Who will answer? Which caste, which clothes are required to attain liberation? So many questions. Do I have to be a Brahmin? Do I have to wear saffron? Do I have to wear oak clothes? Are these mandatory for liberation? Can I be liberated as a householder? Can I be of lower caste? What was the caste of sage Vyasa? What was the caste of sage Valmiki? What was the caste of the Pandavas? Think, introspect. In Maharashtra, in the 13th century, we had such beautiful monks, beautiful saints. Sant Dhyaneshwar, Namdev, he was the son of a tailor. We had saints like who were goldsmiths, scheduled caste, potters. There is no, that we have to be born a Brahmin. We have to be born. Liberation has no boundaries. All you need is a little love, devotion. They say devotion is the simplest path to attain liberation. There are many paths to liberation. We get confused. They say there is a path of knowledge. Some say knowledge will take you to liberation. Some say awareness of the soul will take you to liberation. Some say devotion will take you to liberation. Which path do we follow? So many philosophies, so many faiths, so many sects, each holding a different nature, a view of and different nature of the soul and liberation. The path of Kriya Yoga, path of Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Paridhani, self-control, sense control, self-study, devotion, path of knowledge and devotion, quickest path, surest path. It encompasses all the philosophies. It removes the confusion from the mind of the disciple. Follow it. The techniques are so beautiful. Practice Kriya daily. Every technique is beautiful. Every technique will take you to liberation. Do not doubt what the gurus say. Do not doubt what the masters say. As is your sadhana, so is your success. But why do we fail to remember the Lord? Is sadhana only practicing the techniques? No. Sadhana is remembering God every moment, all your activities, whatever you do. Gurudev says, Guruji says, remain in Fontenay, watch your breath. Why do we have to watch breath? Why do we have to remain in Fontenay? I always asked, always inquired. What is the reason? Why will it lead to liberation? Let me try and see if I can answer that in this remaining 8 minutes. They say if you're free from karmas and desires, you can be liberated. It is the karmas that give us a high or low birth. It is our karmas that make us born in a certain place. It is our karmas that give us a caste. But the king of all karmas is delusion. If we conquer delusion, we almost conquer karma. Delusion is not knowing who you really are. A deluded person doesn't see what the object actually is. He sees something else. We are not what you think you are. We think we are the body. We think we are the mind. That is the biggest source of our delusion. We are the soul. We are pure consciousness. And we are blissful in nature. That is our true nature. Understand it. Realize it. The reason we stay, the reason Guruji says remain in Fontenelle is to kill this delusion that we are the body, we are the mind. If we are not body conscious, we will also not have many desires which are related to body and mind. Lesser the desires, lesser the delusion is the path to liberation. The soul is finally free from all the karmas of the past. Even if karmas come to you, we have to be equanimous, we have to be humble, we have to see it as a great movie. If we react, if we are angry, we end up generating more karmas. There is no end to transmigration. Lifetime after lifetime, we are reborn due to all our tendencies which are related to the body and mind. Anger, ego, jealousy, pride. We have to live in the soul. We have to be soul conscious. We have to be God conscious. That's the only way to attain liberation. Let us close our eyes. Let us meditate for a few minutes. God, bless me with a life of humility. Bless me with a life of God consciousness. Help me remember the soul in whatever I do, in all my from my desires. Help the soul be liberated from birth after birth, from rebirth. Free me from anger, free me from ego, free me from jealousy. All this is a delusion. I am not this body, not the mind. I am the soul. What is the guarantee of our life? We might stop breathing tomorrow. Awaken yourself. Don't waste time. Time is God. Love God. Be engrossed in yourself. Be engrossed in God. whatever you do, live in the world, but be with God. Be calm, be equanimous, be humble, be truthful, be forgiving, be detached. This is the path of success. This is the path of truth. This is the path of liberation. Thank you all. God bless you all. Today is the last day. Change yourself. Be established in truth. Love all. Love is the thing that makes this universe move. Without love, there is no life. Do not fail to remember the Lord. Thank you.
Good evening and good morning to those who are in USA or other countries. My pronouns to you all. Let us close the eyes for a moment and we will offer our prayer remembering God and the Masters. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Divine protect us all. May we enjoy food together. May we meditate and pray together. May we attain wisdom through our study and discussion. May there be no conflict among us. May there be more love and peace within and without. Om Amen. I bow to all-pervading divinity. I bow to all the saints and sages of all times and places. I bow to lineage of Kriya Yoga Masters and especially to Shri Guruji and Shri Gurudev. I bow to the living presence of divine within you all. Welcome back for our discussion. Today is the final day of our intensive international Kriya Yoga seminar. Yesterday, we discussed the descent of Ganga, Holy Mother Ganga or River Ganga. And Ganga is meeting with the ocean. Today, we are going to talk about ocean. When we do some ritualistic practice, any marriage ceremony or thread ceremony or even any yajna, fire ceremony, we install a pot, a copper pot usually, and this pot represents the cosmos. When we invoke divinity in this pot, and symbolically invoking divinity in this body, which is also known as pot, ghata. We chant some prayers, Vedic prayers, and one part of one mantra from that Vedic prayer is about the nectar and the how this nectar, how this pot is installed or worshipped. So today I'll explain that mantra. We always chant with folded hands, invoking divinity. Deva Danava Samvade Mathyamane Mahodadhau Utpannosi Tada Kumbha Vidhrata Vishnuna Swayam. Deva Danava Samvade Mathyamane Mahodadhau. With the dialogue between Devas and Danava. Means, if you remember, Shri Guruji is explaining about Deva and Asura. So, the divine beings and demons. They had a dialogue in the ancient time. There were always some battle or some conflict going on between them because one is representing the positive force, one is representing negative force in us. So always there was war between them. So once they decided that we should be at peace and we should become immortal. So to attain immortality, we need some nectar. And where is nectar? The nectar was deep inside the ocean. So how to get this nectar? They decided, let's work together. Remember, even if a person is having some negative qualities, but for some good work, they can always join with the good people. So they both decided to churn the ocean and get this nectar out of that. That's why it said Deva Danava Samvade, with the dialogue of demons and divine beings. Mathyamane means churning, Mahodada ocean. The ocean was churned. Utpanno asi tada kumbha vidhrata vishnuna swayam. And then this pot, pitcher of nectar, was obtained after churning of ocean, and Lord Vishnu himself has brought it to distribute. However, so it's a very interesting story from the Puranas. This story of Samudra Manthana, churning of the ocean, is mentioned in 3 places: Bhagavat Purana, Vishnu Purana, and Mahabharata. So all these 3 scriptures, they tell the same story about churning of the ocean. So let's discuss, because it has a very beautiful metaphorical meaning also. The story goes that full Samudra Manthan, the churning of story, begins with Lord Indra, the king of the heavens, king of the devatas or divine beings in heaven. Once Indra, the king of heaven, was being given a garland as a gift by sage Durvasa. To show that he was not egotistical, Indra placed the garland on the trunk of his elephant. The elephant let the garland slip from his trunk and trampled it. And this enraged sage Durvasa, who cursed Indra and the rest of the divine beings, devas, to lose their strength, power, and immortality. When the demon, they also had a king whose name was Bali, King Bali. So when the demon or Asura king Bali discovered this, he led a charge against the devas to take over their domain and Indraprastha, the heaven, Indra's palace, you can say. And the weakened devas suffered heavy losses in that battle. In desperation, Indra went to Lord Vishnu for help, and he was told that to gain their power back, the divine beings would need to drink the nectar of Amrita, which could only be obtained by churning the ocean. They would need to form an alliance with the demons to churn the ocean. Then Lord Vishnu said that they would need to agree to share it with the demons once churned to get them agree. But once obtained, he would ensure that the demons are not able to drink it any. That means after churning, it was a plan. It was a plot. Lord Vishnu said that both of you, both the teams, they should come together to churn the ocean. Once the nectar is obtained, that Lord Vishnu promised devas or divine beings that I will make sure that demons will not get it, but you will get it. And then the churning of ocean begins. So Indra approached King Bali, the king of Asuras or demon. He approached Bali and convinced him to work together to churn the ocean. Then to churn the ocean, they needed some instrument. So they lifted Mount Meru, a sacred mountain, the abode of Lord Brahma, into the ocean. And Lord Shiva's serpent and king of serpents, Vasuki, was used as the churning rod. So the Mount Meru was like a churning rod, and the rope was Vasuki, serpent, the king of serpent. While churning, the demons took the head of the serpent and the divine beings took the tail end. When they started to pull forward and back, they found that the mountain kept sinking because it was heavy. It was then that Lord Vishnu took on his second incarnation as Kurma, the giant turtle, and carried the weight of the mountain on his back. And then they again started churning. So finally the ocean could be churned. And when they started churning, so just like in the ancient time in India or in villages, we used to have a lot of milk, and with the help of a churning rod and rope, mothers used to churn the milk and the butter comes on the surface. Similarly, some gems, ratnas, it manifested or it came after churning. The first thing to be released by the ocean was a poison. It was known as Kalakut or Halahala Visha, the deadly poison, which could contaminate the ocean. So now they prayed to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva intervened and drank the poison, which turned the neck of Lord Shiva as blue. And as a result, Lord Shiva is known as Nilakantha, blue throat. After this, the ocean released some gems, which vary in number depending on the text you read. But main gems or ratnas, they include, first one is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune and wealth, who accepted Lord Vishnu as her eternal consort. So now Lakshmi is going with Lord Vishnu. Then second came Apsaras, various celestial dancers like Rambha, Menaka, Punjisthala, Urvashi, Tilottama, etc. So they chose the demigods as their companions. Then third gem came Varuni or Sura. So goddess, and which is called goddess and creator of alcohol. So it's like intoxicating drink, but not exactly alcohol. So somewhat reluctantly, Varuni or Sura appeared disheveled and argumentative. So she accepted the demons. That's why you see the demons or the asuras, they drink alcohol or Sura. Likewise, three types of supernatural animals appeared. One of them is Kamadhenu or Surabhi. In Sanskrit, it's called Kamadhuk. which is known as wish granting or wish fulfilling divine cow. So she is taken by Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu gave this celestial wish fulfilling cow to sages so that they could get clarified butter from her milk, and it could be used for yajna or fire ceremonies or sacrifices. The second supernatural animal came, Airavata. Airavata is the elephant and many other elephants. So Airavata is taken by Indra, the leader of the divine beings. Then came Uchchaishrava. Uchchaishrava is the seven-headed horse. So it was given to the demons. There were three valuables came after that. One is called Kaustubha, the valuable jewel in the world, which is adorned by Lord Vishnu as Kaustubha Mani. Then came Parijata, the divine flowering tree with blossoms that never fade or wilt. So it was taken to Indraloka by the divine beings. Then came a powerful bow, which is symbolic of demon's strength. Additionally, there was some more gems produced by the ocean, which was Chandra or the moon. So moon is adorned by Lord Shiva on his head. That's why if you see Lord Shiva's picture, he is having the crescent moon on his head. Then came Dhanvantari at the end. Dhanvantari is the physician of gods. So he appeared with a pitcher of nectar, which could give immortality. At times it is considered as two. One is Dhanvantari and one is the nectar, pure pitcher of Amrit nectar. So these are the different jewels which came. And if we read the Vishnu Purana, then there's some additional jewels are mentioned there, like Shankha or the conch, which is kept by Lord Vishnu. Then Jyeshtha, the goddess of misfortune. And there was umbrella, which was taken by Varuna, the lord of water. The earrings, they were given to Aditi by her son Indra. Then Kalpavraksha, and so on. Then also Nidra came, Nidra or sloth. However, if you see here, the very first thing which came out after churning is halahal or a deadly poison. And at the end, nectar was released. So finally, after what is believed to have been a millennium, the heavenly physician Dhanvantari emerged with the pitcher of nectar. And this resulted in intense fighting between both sides, trying to grasp the nectar. The Garuda, which is called celestial eagle, he is the carrier of Lord Vishnu. He grabbed the pitcher of nectar and tried to fly away with it. During this flight, it is believed that 4 drops of nectar fell onto the earth. And the places where this nectar drop fell, they are known as in India, Ujjaina, Haridwar, Prayaga, which was Allahabad, and Nasik. So these 4 places are where Kumbh Mela is celebrated every 12 years. However, the demons chased the Garuda and eventually got hold of the pot of nectar. Now to get it back, Lord Vishnu took the form of Mohini. So this is another incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Mohini means very beautiful woman, charming woman. So she distracted the demons while they were busy fighting amongst themselves over who would drink the nectar first. So as Mohini, Lord Vishnu reclaimed the nectar and started distributing it among the devas or divine beings. Because Lord Vishnu said, okay, don't fight. Let us sit in a row, in queue. So on one side, the divine beings were sitting, and other side, all the demons were sitting. And Lord Vishnu said, look, he was in the form of Mohini, the celestial, or you can say charming, beautiful lady. And the demons got infatuated with her beauty. So Lord Vishnu, in the form of this beautiful lady, is told that let me distribute the nectar to devas or divine beings first, and I will distribute little, but the major portion of nectar I'll keep for you demons. So they were all infatuated, they agreed. But when Lord Vishnu or the Mohini was distributing nectar to divine beings, one of the demons, Rahu, name is Rahu, distinguished himself as the Deva. No, he disguised himself. So Rahu, he took the form of divine beings and he sat in the row of the divine beings. And he started to drink the nectar as well. But the sun, which is Surya, sun god, noticed this. And he immediately alerted Lord Vishnu, who proceeded to behead the demon. And that is why the Rahu is now in two parts. The head is different and the trunk. So the head is called Rahu and the trunk is Ketu. In Vedic astrology, Rahu is the dragon head and Ketu is dragon tail, north and south node. However, so Rahu's head is thought to have lived on separate from his body due to the immortality effect of the nectar, because he already had drank, so he became immortal. Now the rejuvenated devas or divine being proceeded to claim back their abode and defeated the demons. This is the story. What is the metaphor? This is just a story, but what is the message? The churning of ocean is about the self and its quest for realization. We want to attain realization, and that's why we have to find that nectar in the form of supreme bliss. To get that nectar, we have to churn, like churning the ocean, we have to churn our own mind. The giant turtle represents the ability to withdraw the sense organs, for only turtles can withdraw their limbs at approaching danger. This is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, that when how do we control our sense organs? The example is given of that turtle. Kurmo angani ivas yah, means when the danger approaches, the turtle withdraws its limbs into the hard shell to protect itself. So similarly, we have to attain that nectar or to get that supreme bliss. In the beginning, we have to control our sense organs, withdraw them from sense objects, just like a turtle. So the giant turtle represents the ability. The senses too should be withdrawn from the danger and distraction of Maya or illusion. What is mountain? Mount Meru. So the mountain is our spine, which is used as the churning rod to churn life with the rope of breath, represented by snake. So the rope is our breath here, and the churning rod, which is Mount Meru, it is our spine. So in the chakras, we are moving our prana with the help of breath. This is churning of our mind, churning of ocean symbolically. The mind turns this way and that way, like here, there, churning. So the mind turns this way and that way towards the devas who are good propensities, and then towards the asuras who are evil propensities. So churning one way, then another, the mind begins spewing venom. So when you start churning, as the first thing came out of churning of ocean is halakala visha, the deadly poison. So also when we are starting churning, that means the moment we start our Kriya practice, we do Kriya Pranayam, and in the beginning you will see that lots of negative thoughts are coming. Even those thoughts, they appear in our mind, which we don't like even. From where these thoughts are coming, we are wondering. Sometimes we are so scared. But remember, it is churning of ocean. So here it is churning of mind. With the help of our breath, when we start our practice, it is churning. So whatever we have accumulated life after life, it is coming out. So first thing which will come out is all our negativity. All our negative thoughts will come at the time of meditation in the beginning. Do not get worried. Because after that deadly poison, all the jewels, 14 jewels, they appeared from the ocean. So keep on churning the mind, just like they kept on churning the ocean. So after getting the poison, once you release all your negativities, you just watch. Don't get worried. Just watch, because whatever is there, it is coming out. You are becoming free from all your negativities. Don't stop meditation. And the churning brings forth the poison. So first, it brings forth the poison, which lies at the surface. What is that? Years of our bad habits, thoughts, and impulses begin to be churned to the surface, and they are released. In the initial stages of meditation, just such a cleansing occurs, and the release of toxic impulses and desires can be painful and disturbing experience, but don't worry. It is only after the surface dirt is cleared that we begin to find priceless treasures within. Wealth, prosperity, material satisfaction, comfort and luxury, name and fame, fortune, and many powers may come to us, but like the devas or divine beings, we should not be distracted. We should continue our effort until at last we obtain the nectar of bliss, that is self-realization. We should be careful at the final moment not to feed the demons of our evil propensities, but to strengthen our good propensities and emerge victorious. Just like the Mohini or Lord Vishnu was distributing the nectar to devas, divine beings, not trying to feed the demons. Similarly, we should not give any opportunity to our negative propensities to come up. Let them first get rid of our mind, and then just focus on the positive propensities, and it will take us slowly to state of bliss. And when we're going deeper and deeper into that, one day we attain self-realization, that is immortality. So this is the significance of our Puranic stories. Remember, Vedic teachings are not so easy. The Vedas, Upanishads, they are in Sanskrit, they are high philosophy also. For a common man, it is very difficult to read, understand. That is why Sage Vyasa, he put all these beautiful teachings in the form of stories, and he wrote all these Puranas. But remember, they are not just stories. We have to understand the metaphor, what is the message behind that, and then we have to practice it. So churning of ocean is churning of our own mind. It is the story of our own meditation technique. Let us remember this story, and let us not be worried about the negativities which comes, because in the story we saw the first thing comes is all the negativities. First thing is the visha or the poison. Let this poison go out of us. Don't hold on to that. Let it go. So what is needed? Just continue. Many times people ask me that, Swamiji, when I'm meditating, I'm getting so many negative thoughts. I'm getting all these unnecessary distracting thoughts. So it is a process. Let this process continue first. Shri Ramakrishna Paramahansa gave a beautiful example about meditation, that when we suppose we have little water, we want to drink water, and we have a small cup. This cup has not been used for many years. What will happen? In the cup, there are some dust particles. They are accumulated. So when we want to keep water in that, we are putting water. So just pour water into that cup, and what will you see? All the dust particles are slowly, they are rising, they are coming up. If you continue pouring water, all the dust particles slowly, they will overflow and go out of the cup. After some time, when you keep on pouring water, you will find there's only clean water remaining inside the cup. This is exactly happening when we are meditating. All samskaras, negativities or bad habits or whatever we have accumulated in many lifetimes, they are all coming up, and they are just like cleansing process. Let it happen. Just meditate with deep love for the love for God and gurus, and you will find that one day you are becoming free from all these unnecessary thoughts, negativities, and you go into that blissful state, and finally self-realization. Like the devas, they got the picture and then they drank it, they became immortal. So also we can attain that. Thank you for this opportunity to be together, sharing something which I have heard from the masters. It's time for little meditation. So let us